A powerful documentary from 1972, though never shown until 1989, pictures of the Old World as a striking artifact of human will. In 2000, Pictures of the Old World was voted by Slovakian film critics as the best Slovak film of all time. So what does this documentary depict? Through stark black and white, filmmaker Dusan Hanak documents a Slovakian town in the Tatra Mountains. Dusan Hanak is said to have been inspired by the photographs of one Martin Martinek. I genuinely have been challenged in finding more information on Martinek, even with Google, which is quite odd. To elaborate upon its delayed release, this film was considered at odds with the state ideology of that time, and so authorities withdrew the film from release, and it remained banned for many years. This film is hardly political, however, if at all. I suppose in its capturing of fundamental human strife, illuminating the vacuum of conscious existence, the state could not help but feel inadequate. Many of these peasants interviewed would have been alive before the ascension of this regime, and it would appear that their lives are unimproved or lacking in substance at all. It is said that this film's re-release in 1988/89 was spearheaded by Czech Minister of Culture and poet Miroslav Valek. It seems he renamed the film, upon this release in its home country, Old World Group Portraits, to appease, apparently successfully, the hawk of censorship. A review of this film upon its re-release in 1989, courtesy of Karen James in the New York Times, is excerpted here. With no narration, Mr. Hanak simply presents in subtle black and white images of the peasants' haggard, lined faces and the cramped hovels in which they live. As they describe the barren conditions and simple beliefs of their existence, the film unfolds with the smooth regularity of their daily lives. "I have lived in the shed for 50 years, one woman says. A man carries a few eggs to the village to sell. In such circumstances, a cracked egg becomes heartbreaking. A woman walks in daylight through a cemetery where dozens of candles burn on graves. She stops at one headstone and says, 'I met this one after he'd been dead a year.'" And in the most extraordinary section, an old man talks with great fascination and lucidity about space travel, recalling how 2 astronauts walked on the moon and collected rocks while a third circled in their spaceship. Tacked to the wall of his crumbling shack is a small photograph of men walking on the moon. I've identified this quote from Hanak himself on the purpose of his film. "The film is about our grandparents' moral strength and inner beauty, as well as their values, which in modern time are so often lacking. I was fascinated to see that they succeeded in preserving a certain kind of archetype, an ancient form of humanity, a mentality that is slowly disappearing from our civilized world." An extraordinary document indeed. At only 1 hour long, if you can track this film down, I highly recommend that you experience it. So siphon what love you can from this strange, unpredictable universe.